Yeah, I remember I promised to talk about something, something that affects people and expectations, something that hinders more people from going ahead with good things. I remember asking, have you ever loved to an extent that your love is not what is needed or what's required? Have you ever been to a place which requires love, but not your kind of love? A place which says, yes, I want love, but yours is not good enough. Not in the sense that it's not enough, but maybe it's too much. All right. I'm not gonna spend much time, I promise. But I've seen things when it comes to love. People are struggling. The world right now needs love. But the love that the world needs is unknown to love. I mean, it's unknown to the world. The world just knows it needs love, but it doesn't know what kind of love. It's been so much distorted that the love that the world needs, according to the world, no longer exists. So every time that love is seen, every time that love is exhibited, the world thinks it's being tricked somehow. All right. I've a lot to say, but let me say it this way. Have you seen how careful many people are when it comes to love? The love that they are looking for. Yes, people have been tricked, people have been betrayed, but true love is scary. People don't know how to be loved. Most divorces, if I may say, sorry to seem like I'm offending those who have been unfortunate enough to be divorced. Many divorces could be traced to the wrong things that someone has done. But then if you look again, you will see that some of them are traced actually to the right things that some people did, but they did for the wrong people who didn't know how to be loved. After I promised to talk about love, I met this lady. She was driving an Uber and we ended up talking. And we eventually talked about her divorce, and she said, I divorced my man, or we divorced, but I know very well I was the one who was wrong. She said I was too controlling, I was too demanding, I didn't even give him a chance to make decisions. And I asked her a simple question, do you miss him? She says no. At first it confused me, because I thought if she was the one who was wrong and she lost a good man because she was wrong, there should be some regretting. She said no, I don't regret. I regret having lost him, but I don't miss him. And she says also, I don't love him. So I kept asking her, why is it that you had something good, you messed it up according to what you are telling me, and you lost it, but you regret losing it? but you don't love it. She then says, that's the way I was just raised up. If something is done, it's done. I've learned my lessons. I've messed up. She actually said, I saw him yesterday at our child's school game, and he kept looking at me like, and she said, you know that look that says, what can I do to get you back? And I asked her, what did you do about that look? The look coming from someone that loved you. She said, nothing. I played hard to get. So I remember I had promised this, I think on Sunday or Monday, and she just ran into my story and made my story more clearer, and she told me something. People knows what they want, but only when they see it or when they lose it. She was in what she wanted. Instead of enjoying what she wanted, she thought there is something more, something better, and she lost what she had. She then said she went into an 8-year-old relationship, and asked her, what was the relationship like? She said the relationship was abusive. And I asked her, why would you endure an abusive relationship for 8 years when you know what you want and where it is? She then said, I was regretting too much. I thought I didn't deserve him after what I had done, and I knew he needed a better person, and I let him go. So the 8 years taught her not to love him again. That's why she could say, I miss him. I regret losing him. He was the best husband, but I don't love him. I don't miss him. So the part that she doesn't miss him then told me something about people. The world needs love, but at times it doesn't know what it needs, and when it sees what it needs, it abuses what it needs. It tells love how it needs to be loved. The world controls. Okay, by the world I just mean everyone in it and the system. Right now people are drawn to people that are not good for them. Yeah, I know it's quite a sensitive subject, but I've always wanted to talk about this. And once in a while people run into exactly what they are looking for, but at times they don't recognize it. At times they are so controlling that they tell it how they ought to be loved, and yet they don't know how they should be loved. Here is a conundrum. There is what you want, but because of what you have learned before, what you have been exposed to, you have your own definition of what love should look like. But when the love comes right to your face, right on your doorstep, people have given love too many rules. Yes, love is patient. Yes, love is kind. But the recipient of love are not always patient. The recipient of love are not always kind. So here are some few tips that I have come up with especially to those that love, those that are giving love, but it's not being received the way it should be received. First of all, here's a question. How do you think it should be received? Does it work only when it is received? Is it affected when it is not received? How often is the giver of love affected by it not being received? You then, from the first question that I asked, you will then see that maybe the pain that the lovers are going through is the pain of lack of reciprocation or reciprocation, depending on how you pronounce it. The givers of love are giving love expecting something. And some are changing how they love basing on how they were received the last time they loved. But then we come back to the same thing, the same question that I've asked you. Does love change? Should love change because of how it is received? Love is patient. This is a biblical verse. Love is patient. Love is kind. Love is slow to anger. It is not easily angered. Love gives. Love creates room. This is no longer scripture, what I'm saying now. This is now me. Love creates room. Love protects. Love prefers what it loves to itself. Like love gives first preference to what it loves. But the subjects or the receivers of love, do they have to know what love has gone through for it to be given to it? Here is my 2 cents. I will talk about the love of Christ some other time, which needs action, which needs you to do something about it. Also looking at that kind of love also, you realize that it was given so that people attain a certain status. And for as long as the people have not received that love, a certain status that they are living in right now could be avoided. Some people are living a miserable life right now when they shouldn't be living a miserable life. Love was given, but they didn't receive the love. Okay, so I was saying I wanted to talk about those that love and they're consistently being rejected. I think the best way to love, especially a world that doesn't know what love really looks like, is to love and not expect a reaction. Love and know in your heart that your love is only moving you, and it might not move those that are being loved. Yes, some bargainers will say, okay, what's the purpose of loving if the love cannot be seen? My Bible says love covers a multitude of sin. That has nothing to do with how it is received. The only effect on how it is not received is seen on the one who is not receiving, for they are not opening up the benefits. Right. Let's say this. Christ has died for us. Christ died for us, and he has forgiven our sins. It is up to one who receives the Christ to begin to benefit from the love of Christ, right? As it stands right now, the love is there. As it stands right now, the forgiveness is there. As it stands right now, a certain lifestyle is there right now. So according to the giver of love, it's done. That's why he said it is finished. Right on the day before he even died, his closing remark was, it is finished. According to him, love has been given. The whole process of giving love has been given. It's now up to the receiver. Right. He went to heaven before the whole world was saved. Why? According to him, after you have done what you have done, it is finished. It is now up to the receiver to receive it. But I'm also not saying you don't have to care. You don't have to try and make people see what you have done. I have loved people. In fact, that's one of my strong characters. I love people. And when you love people, you do things, sometimes unimaginable things, just to love. I've seen that. I've been so patient. Not because I have time, but because I love. I remember waiting. I could wait for 3-4 hours for something that was supposed to have happened 3 hours or 4 hours prior. In my mind, I'm like, maybe I'll leave and they will come. Maybe as soon as I go, they show up. Maybe something happened to them and they couldn't make it on time. What was that doing to me? It was strengthening my patience. But at times I realized I would be waiting for that, for someone who is not even thinking that I am waiting for them, who is not even minding that I am there. And the moment you realize that, the moment you were thinking maybe something happened to them, they'll show up soon, they were not even thinking about you. That hurts. Yes, that breaks one, but also that trains you to, it has maintained who I am. Whenever I come to a place that needs love, I don't struggle to love, because I'm not a professional lover. It's not my profession. It's not something that I trained so that I make money. It's me, it's who I am. What I actually struggle now is loving too much. There are places where there are rules of how to love. Some rules of how to love are guided by time. You need to love from 4 o'clock to 10 o'clock. Some rules are some rules of love are guided by places. You need to love only when you are at this place. The moment you leave that place, stop loving, stop caring, stop thinking about certain people, or even if you think about them, don't do anything much about it. So there's nothing wrong. People are also free to say how they want to be loved. People are also free to prescribe. It's just that the problem that they don't know at times how they ought to be loved, and at times we the lovers, we prescribe what we think they need because of the position we think they are. Yet some are not even at that stage. Do you know that someone is not yet at a stage whereby they deserve to be loved unconditionally? We fall in love with people, love life, as in erotic love. We fall in love with people and we have something to give. And that's the source of pain for a lot of people. The problems most people are going through right now is because they didn't realize that some people do not deserve to be loved in a certain way. So here I'm actually giving you some solutions how to avoid your love being underappreciated. At times, do not even give it away, because after giving it out, some of us, we are not like Christ. We are trying to be like him, but we are not like him. After giving it out, we are left wearied, but without any appreciation. There are people that actually don't deserve to be loved unconditionally until they know the meaning of what is happening to them. You should keep your love away from certain people until they know what it means to be loved. Why am I saying this? It's because you don't have a well of love. You have a bucket of love, and it looks like once you give your love, you have nothing else to give. I've seen people who are heartbroken even after they found the right people who needs love. They found the right people after having given the wrong people everything. So, with some of us, we can love unconditionally, but we are wearing out. We are tukupera while we're loving unconditionally, because we are loving people that do not want to be loved unconditionally. Have you seen that people that love people sterek are the most suspicious? I know we have had tricksters before, but there are people that genuinely love people right now. Some people are going through hell because they were hurt by the people they loved, but there is someone who loves them right now, but they are already hurt. They can't receive love. How does one deal with a person who doesn't recognize love? If you have love trauma in you, it has to be appreciated so that you replenish or you refill, so that it grows again. Then be careful who you love. I was saying, I have loved people to an extent that I have done things for people secretly. And actually, I was the one who didn't want them to find out that I have done things. There are things that I have done right now which I've even forgotten because I didn't want them to be remembered. Why? I wasn't loving for the sake of a response. I wasn't loving so that I get a thank you. I wasn't loving to see how they would react to the love. I was loving because I'm a lover. I was loving because I'm soft that way. I'm foolish that way, and I am naive that way, and that has made me a better person. Though some of the people that I've loved have been terrible people, because even when they are loved unconditionally, they don't see it, they don't appreciate it. I've loved my stepmother. I've prayed for my stepmother, the woman who made my life hell. The last time I spoke to her, I said, thank you for whatever you did to me. It brought me where I am. It took me right into the arms of God. What did she do? She sold all the inheritance, all my father's inheritance. She deserved it. She also went for it. I mean, that's how she responded to love. After someone tells you, thank you for being a good person to me. Everything that you've done for me made me a better person. And she knows very well that she didn't do everything well. So, I don't know if that's what she called love, or if she thought. I actually don't know what love is, because the people do that at times. When you help them to feel better, when clearly you should let them know that they've been wrong, at times they feel like, I think this guy does not know what love is. At times they convince themselves, okay, maybe it wasn't bad after all, because of the reception. So reception has a way of misleading people. Reception has a way of changing perspectives. I was saying, Bob Marley was a great man. He was one of the artists. He could have a show and thousands would fill in the venues, the places. But guess who wasn't at the place? Millions. Martin Luther King is a very important person, especially in the history of Black Americans. He would have events and the thousands would attend. But guess who wasn't attending? Thousands. Some of the things that we are celebrating now, they were not celebrated the time they were happening. Why? At times it's about the reception. But did they stop writing books because of the receivers? No. Did they stop composing songs because they are not sure who will receive them? No. Some of the most celebrated things have been done in secret. Some of the most celebrated songs have been written in secret, and people didn't even realize that the songs would revolutionize the world. But guess who said it's good enough? It was the receivers. Am I then saying the receiver has power to validate what you have done? Yes, to some extent. But do they have power to make you do something or not? Should you do it basing on the receiver's response? No. If you are a giver, give because you are a giver. And don't learn only about giving, also learn about the behavior of the receivers. Learn that some receivers will not say thank you. Some receivers will know that you want to give them something and already expect 1,000. And when they see that it's $300, they'll be disappointed. But their disappointment is not coming from what you didn't do. It's coming from what they thought you were going to do. So, the receiver should be taught how to receive, while the giver should be taught how to give. But even if the receiver is not taught how to receive, they need the $300. Give them anyway. Some of the receivers are stupid, but they have kids who are not stupid. Some of the beggars are gonna take some and drink beer. The beer that you don't drink yourself, they give. But some of the money they are going to give to their children. So, give anyway. Unless it's your responsibility to teach people. Why am I saying this? Because we have tried to teach people that we were not given to teach, and we were more frustrated by them not getting what we are teaching them. I've seen people, we have gathered people, gave them things, and as soon as people take those things, they don't want to hear what the giver is saying. I've also seen people who were gathered to be given things, and they knew they were gathered to be given things, and the longer it takes to be given those things, they begin to grumble. They begin to shout. They are telling you, you said you are going to give me. I don't care what you're saying before you give me anything. I don't care what you represent before you give me anything. And when you hear that, some people, they say, these people are wrong. What? I don't think they're wrong. The giver did not study the receiver's behavior before they give. They thought their gift would be received with the same enthusiasm that they are giving, which is not always the case. So, you will love people. You will secretly do things for people. You will get into contracts with people that are trying to destroy the people that you love. And you won't even tell them that somebody brought this, they wanted to destroy them this way, and you went into a treaty. You went and you begged for the people that you love and didn't even tell them. And at times when it's time for them to do things for people, you might not even be the first. According to them, you are not the first as they are. You will receive that a lot. You will marry a person, give your life to that person, go anywhere to make money for such a person, and they will use that money to destroy you. They will use whatever you give them to reach out to someone who they think loves them better. Or maybe they do, but I'm just saying it's not guaranteed what you give is what you're going to get. It's not always guaranteed. Givers, give anyway. Lovers, love anyway. Composers, compose anyway. Singers, sing anyway. We sing for people that all of a sudden becomes teachers. They realize what you are not doing well, but they don't realize what you have done and how long it took you to come up with that, despite the resources that you do not have and they know you do not have. We have done films using very cheap cameras. Once it's out, people, they tell you how different it is from Hollywood, what you should have done. They don't realize how you have gone all out to come up with that which you have. That's how people look at love. At times you postpone your life to have kids with someone, and after you are done having kids with them, they accuse you of not being ambitious enough. They accuse you of not being outgoing. They accuse you of not being exposed enough. That's how people receive love at times. But guess what? When millions are doing that, when millions are terrible at receiving love, guess who is not terrible at receiving love? Some other millions. There are some people who are very good at receiving love. There are people who thank you for what you did for them when you don't even know you did for them. You did that for them. They derive a lesson from you without you teaching them, and they thank you for teaching them. Some people are thankful. Some people have God-like gratitude. I've had people that I have helped. I've had people that I have given things, and the way they thanked me made me realize how small the gift or the time or the gesture was. At times we get a $2 thank you for $1 million gesture. At times we get a $15 thank you for a lifetime gesture. At times we don't even get a thank you for dedicating everything to something. At times you are actually corrected what you could have done right. When you have given up everything to do that 30-second presentation. At times you give up dreams just to be part of something, and you might not even get the thank you that you think you deserve. May not even be recognized. But if you are conditioned to give, at times the response does not matter. And even if the response is terrible and everyone is asking you, what just happened? Why didn't they say thank you to you? And at times you think, okay, I think maybe I was wrong to do this. I was not supposed to do this. I was not supposed to give that attention. I was not supposed to love that person. I was not supposed to help that person. When you go home, because you are a lover, 2, 3, 4, 5 days, you begin to miss loving, and you're looking for someone else to love. So my advice is, if your love is continuously being hurt, do one of these two things. Don't expect a response that you're thinking in your head that it will come. Number 2, because you still have to love, maybe change the recipients of love. If you are so sensitive about the response, study those that respond well and give them your love. But all I know is, if a giver is not giving, they are suffering. If a lover is not loving, they are in trouble. If a composer is not composing, they are suffering. If one with an advice is not advising, they are suffering. If a teacher is not teaching, they are suffering. If a football player is not playing football, they are suffering. So before you are hurt for doing something, study yourself. How does that make you feel? How good does giving make you feel? What do you achieve by giving? Would you risk that by not giving just because the receiver is not trained on how to receive? I've learned another lesson again this past week. The receiver of love has a right to tell you what they want, because it's not all of them who doesn't know what they want. Some of them, they know what they want. The receiver of love also has a right to tell you how they want to be loved. Not just what, also how. The receiver of love has a right to tell you the duration of the love. How long can you love them in a certain way? Because at times, if they can't call it love anymore, it might also be unnecessary for you to keep giving it. Love also must be love in a way that the one being loved understands it to be love. At times they are wrong, but what help does it give, or what help is it if love is not being received? Maybe Christ, who has lots of it, who is love himself, can give it and it's trodden upon, and he still has some to give. We are in the dispensation of time. At times we run out of time. That's why most of the times when we love for a long time, we always associate our commitment with time. That's why we cry for time. In failed marriages, people will say, hey, I've given him all my life. I've given him all my best days. Some will say, I've given her all the time. She's wasted my time. Why? Because we depend on time. Maybe if the source of our love is coming from a realm which is not governed by time, then if after 15 years we are given the boot, we can still start another love affair. If after 10 years you are told your love is not good enough, you can still love again. Why am I saying this? I know most people are afraid of loving again because of time. I loved this guy for 3 years and he played with my 3 years. I gave this company my 20 years. How can I love again? How can I give another company? If you are a lover, you are glad that you have given something to someone. Even if they get someone better than you, know that the word better comes from good. You've given them a template, you have given them something, and they are learning something from what you have given them. You have just been part of the initial stages. Even when a guy gets someone better than you, and you know very well that this one is better than you have given them a template. You've shown them what they want. They have seen themselves, but they've seen themselves because of you. You've contributed to them, and they might not appreciate it. They might not say it. Probably they celebrate your replacement bigger and better than the foundation. Yeah, that's what people do. They don't know the importance of a foundation. They celebrate chandeliers. They celebrate ceilings. They don't celebrate the bricks that are in the ground, the bricks that buried themselves for the buildings. I've talked about many things. I've talked about many scenarios. If one thinks I'm talking about this one scenario and not that one, it's up to them. But I'm saying, lovers keeps on loving, and it's a pleasure to love. That has nothing to do with how love is responded to or how love is reciprocated. Givers, I don't like it to tell a giver what they will get when they give. Even in church, I don't wanna, even though I know when you give, you'll be given again. I don't want to market what you'll be given, because it becomes investment. If you are to be told what you need to be given back before you give, that's just investment. But it is investment. But I would like a scenario whereby one gives because they are givers, whereby one loves because they are lovers. One advises because by nature they are advisors. One teaches because they are teachers. I might have left out some scenarios, but this is just a message to those who are being told to their face that we need love, but not your kind of love. Possibly because it's not what we expected. It's not what we were taught to be love. There is another love that a country bestows upon its citizens. But when you look at it, it's not even red. It's not a red heart. When the country manages people with a tendency of committing crime by incarcerating them, putting them in one place where they are well taken care of. I'm talking about imprisonment. It's love. It's a form of love to the people. They are getting rid of people that makes you miserable. They are also correcting the people that makes other people miserable by teaching them while they are not going anywhere, while they are confined to one place, while they are being told what to do, when to do it, what time to go to sleep, where to go and dig. It's love. I'm not being sarcastic, but it's the love that the people don't realize they need to be given. That love, the people that are being incarcerated, they don't realize they need to be given that kind of love. Some of them are actually reformed. Why? They were forced, they were put in chains and taken to a place of love, and the government is actually paying the people that are taking care of them, which means they are doing a great job. We don't understand the kind of love. Maybe there is more to say concerning what they call tough love. It's not tough love, it's just love. But the part that we call tough is the part that we were not expecting, the part which is not a red heart, the part which is not a red rose. In short, lovers keep loving, givers keep giving. Until another time, catch me I have opened a new page called Carven Gumbanjera Official. I have discovered that I'm a lot of things. I talk, I'm a counselor, I'm a preacher, I'm a motivational speaker. I'm now into love. I love music. I love helping people. I'm into voluntary work. I volunteered myself for years. I've given my life for years. If ever there is what is called experience, I'm experienced in that. Am I blowing my trumpet? Yes. I can blow. And the trumpet is mine. So, I've discovered that there are times when I want to talk about life. There are times when I want to talk about music. There are times when I want to talk about religion. And I had created different pages for that. But I'm putting them together now in one official page. I've made it a point, I enjoyed it anyway, to hide some other parts of my life from others. There are people who knows me as a musician only. Even in music, some people knows me as a bassist only. Right now, some people knows me as something else totally different. Some people are discovering that while this guy is doing this work, he is a very good counselor. I've always been that for years. Somebody was telling me recently, they don't know me, and I didn't tell them about some of the things that I do. And they are sort of discovering me. They said, you should consider counseling. I think you are good at it. They said also, you should consider try doing music. They also said, you should get training to speak in public. I think you can be good at it. I smiled, I enjoyed them because they can look and see right through me, even when I was trying to also hide those areas. There is so much potential to do anything, and that potential is usually hurt by the receivers, but this is to help you. If the receivers gives you a thumbs up, take that and be encouraged. If the receivers gives you a thumbs down, take that and be encouraged. You realize that you are your own hurdle, you are your own disruption, you are your own iron gate that is avoiding or stopping or slowing you down from being the actual self that you should be. So, you see, I keep on talking because that's me. That's me. I'm not, and I don't run out of what to say. I have to embrace this part of me. This is not me trying to be something else. This is me being me. So please, if you are my Facebook friend, go also to Carven Gumbanjera Official. I now have 5,000 friends, people who think they can learn something from me, they can be part of my family, know what's happening to me. I'm limited now. I have almost another 1,000 that have requested for friendship. and there are thousands that I still want to request friendship from. So 5,000 is not good enough. Let's take it up. Let's make the platform bigger. Let's make it broader. Thank you so much for the support. I'm a content creator. I'm a musician. I'm in voluntary work, philanthropy, I'm a speaker, I'm a counselor, I'm a father, I'm a friend, I'm also an enemy. Let's share. Let's learn one or two from each other. Carven Gumbanjera official. Thank you.